Audio check, 1, 2. I think I've got audio. Well, that should be good. So we'll turn on the video now. All right. Welcome to a Sunday night live with Goodmonkey. I don't know who we have here tonight, but on this end, we've got me, Goodmonkey, and my executive producer, Dr. Meatball. She's with us tonight, and I don't know if there's anyone here. So if you come into the room, please give us a shout on the chat, and we'll see what we can do. Anyways, the reason that we decided to stream tonight, let me unplug it, is this little machine right here. Ooh, another one. Now this is a mini PC that is fanless and also supports the Pentium Silver N6500 or 6505. I've forgotten exactly which. But the model name is the AC8. And the reason that I wanted to open this one up and see, is there anything salvageable about it? Because they sent it to me without Windows activated. And the way that they activate these little mini PCs is kind of iffy, but they work. But if you were to try to extract a key, of course, you can't really find one. This one right here, of course, is not activated. So if I installed Windows, it would not be activated. And, you know, don't have any other... I don't know, because I could use it as a Linux machine. That'd be fine. And performance-wise, it's not terrible, but being fanless, I think it can't take the full... it's not allowing the Pentium to actually thrive. There's some bottlenecking because of that. So anyways, I'm going to go over to C. I don't know if we have anyone viewing, but we got one like. Oh, so this may be
a super short evening.
It could be, you know, but
it may be that the viewer audience you had last Wednesday was really good, and it may be that Wednesday night is a good night.
Or maybe, but you know, Wednesday night wasn't even on the poll. It was always Saturday or Sunday, and that was actually kind of equal, all 11 votes or so. But anyways, one other interesting thing is when they shipped this device, it came with this 16 gigabyte SD card, but there's SD micro. It's a something. It's a thumb drive. There we go, USB drive. But I have no idea what is on it because there was nothing in the documentation about using it or anything like that. So I have done all the performance marks I need to on this. So I thought about actually looking at this live, but considering we don't really have anyone here watching, I guess I'll get started with the teardown. So, oh, and an update from our last video that will probably go under, you know, what was it? Streaming video disaster or something?
Epic streaming failures.
There we go. Yep. So the minis forum, one thing I don't like about it is you can't really set it on its side due to the vents or ports on every side. So I got this little laptop holder or Mac Mini holder. And yeah, there's this little dip here, and that would work pretty good for a Mac Mini. It doesn't really fit this one very well. And this allows me to have a little bit of space there on the air inlet. And then I have the air outlet on the top. So that should be interesting to run like that. All right, so anyways, the only other experience I've really had with a fanless machine other than the T11 is this guy right here. This is the firewall that died. So it uses the entire body as a heat sink, and it's made from metal. Whereas this one right here, it's actually like a rubberized plastic. So that may be why it can't perform quite as well as you'd think that it might. All right, so another thing I found was my remote. So apologize for the table shaking. Zoom in. I think that's pretty good. I can get it into frame. All right, it might be a little dark against the background, but I mean, there we go. Right on the bottom, we can see that we have two exposed screws. Well, one and one underneath a inspection sticker, which seems really weird that they put the inspection sticker over a screw that you would actually remove. But, you know, what do I know? So these look like they'd be probably a number 1 Phillips. Yep, that'll work fine. These two screws, though, we probably can't get too far into it. This should be for like a drive expansion. Almost. All right. And then we pop this off. Oh, well, that's pretty fancy. Well, it's not exactly what I thought. I thought we were going to have a spot for like a 2.5-inch SATA drive, but that's not what it is. Instead, we've got direct access to the M.2 SATA drive, and then the RAM as well, and it is a dual slot. So this comes with 16 gigs, and I think this one can run 32. I'm not certain, but with that easy of access, it won't be hard to change things out. So I'm not even going to try. Here, Eddie, I don't know, I can't say the brand. So not one that we would normally see. Take out this NGFF drive. All right, we've got it out. And what we really see is just a plastic or paper insulator, so that whatever a user is doing is not shorting out the circuit board underneath. Now I'm speculating, since this actually has feet, that there would be screws under the feet.
Well, I mean, at least it's not under a vanity plate.
Yeah, that's true. So yep, it does look like there are screws under here. And I think a number 1 Phillips would work again. Yep. Let's see if there's screws all around. Yep. Not exactly all 4 corners, but that works. Well, if no one comes into view, at least I got some teardown footage.
This is true.
Maybe they didn't like my pre-roll. Who knows?
Maybe it's bad weather.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we are having thunderstorms here. And if the power goes out, so does the stream, because our internet connection here I don't have on battery backup.
Yeah,
which
we
is
need to work on that.
something I think my wife would really like.
It is definitely something your wife would really like.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's see. Oh, I don't have this up. Oh, the chat's not working. Well, Jack Jackson said that he sees 4 people watching. So that, okay, thanks for the feedback, because unfortunately I do have like OBS up, so I can see in real time what I'm doing, because if not, I'd be looking at the delayed video preview. So thank you. Yep, I see it now too. 4 current views. Awesome. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chat URL updated, so let's see if I can do that real quick. Properties, all, and then paste. Oh, nope, I need the overlay URL. That's what I need. Copy. Bear with me, technical difficulties, please stand by. All right, now it's clear. That is the overlay area, yeah. Oh, there's mine, cool, that part works. And there we go. All right, outstanding, we've got it now. Thank you. All right, well, that also gave me the opportunity to fix the chat. So, I mean, overall, I think we're still better tonight than we were on Wednesday. Oh, look at that.
We're only a few minutes in, and things are actually coming apart tonight.
I know, that's awesome. It is really awesome. So, that's interesting. Huh. Anyways, it's got a little bit of a like a seal or something. It looks like foam, and in my electronics work, you could see something like this that would be a metal braid for shielding, but that we're missing some of it here, so that's obviously not what it is. All right, so now we can see the goodies. Oh, look, there is a SATA connector and power. So while it won't work in this configuration, maybe there is a way to add a SATA drive, and that would be pretty cool. So now I see a couple of screws, but not much. I think I got to take the standoffs off. I don't have a wrench. Ugh, there's one.
I was going to ask you if I'm going to grab one, but I'm going to go with you got it.
I mean, a wrench would actually be very helpful. Thank you. It doesn't have to be very big. or even some pliers or something, just enough to.
I'm pretty sure I can do something.
There's one standoff. So, anyways, as my producer goes off to find the right tool, because, well, why didn't I think I would need something like that? That's my bad.
Here's some needle nose.
That'll work great. Thank you. All right, so.
So, am I the producer or am I the executive gopher?
You're the executive producer.
Okay.
But, I mean, I guess that's what producers do, right?
Act as gophers? I mean, in this case, sure.
So, I don't know who made the board yet, but the memory connectors are actually made by Foxconn, so that's not too terrible. Foxconn, if you didn't know, was one of the manufacturers that Apple used to make iPhones. All right, so it may be easier to do something like this. There we go. So if you've never seen that trick before, you got a standoff or something like this and you've loosened it, you can then take a screw and run it back in, as long as you don't tighten the standoff back down. When you run it down, then you try to back the screw out, and there should be enough tension on the screw and the standoff being loose enough, you can just use that to back the standoff out. Not that I've ever done this before. All right, so now does it come straight out? Not quite. So that's interesting. The screw there looks like it's for the Wi-Fi card, but you can't get to the Wi-Fi card with the paper in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this would be where it could come out. Dun, dun, dun. Man, I just keep on hitting walls, don't I? Let's see, can I grab here and not damage anything? See it flexing. So maybe I should take this paper off. Alright, oops, there's a Wi-Fi antenna there. Nope, it took the connector off the card. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Whew. All right. So if I had to guess, those 4 screws are holding the processor to the heatsink, but we might have to actually take that off too. Very interesting. Interesting design here. Let's see if we can pop that bad boy back on. That didn't work. How would that work? The Wi-Fi worked before. Probably won't now. Be just my luck. I apologize for my voice. I decided to mow the yard yesterday without a mask on and paying for it. Silly allergies. You know, maybe I shouldn't do this because we might have to take the Wi-Fi card out anyways. Alright, everything seems like it's locked down, so I'm going to try. Oh, it looks like when they installed it, they had a hard time getting to that screw. Ooh, she zoomed in. Ha ha. Now we can really see the table shake. Is this necessary? I don't know. I'm going to try. When there's no service manual, sometimes you just kind of go for it. All right, does this come off? It might. Oh, I think the board will come out now.
Aisle 9 says service manuals are for quitters.
Or for people who look for validation that they're doing it the right way. Zoom out again. Because my boss did show me how to take, Chromebooks apart and stuff like that. Then I looked at the service manual and said, well, that wasn't quite right, but it'll work. All right. Let's see. There is the bottom of her. Isn't that a beauty?
Jack says, just pretend you're reverse engineering the unit. See, I'm liking this.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So, anyways, but there we go. Service manuals are for quitters. Yes and no. I drive a Volkswagen. You need a service manual to figure that out. Trust me. And then reverse engineering, well, again, back to the Volkswagens. They over-engineered that for sure.
All of them. We've had multiple.
Yeah. So it looks like most of the board stands off, and that's really not yeah, it's a big heat sink, but it's not as massive as like those fanless routers. So, yeah, there we go. All right, so we got anything of interest? This is probably where I had to break out my glasses. All right, so everybody now say, what in the world? All right, so we have windbound chip. There's I think that's a Realtek audio chip there. Is it on camera? Yep, right there. It's probably something to do with networking. I can't see them well enough, can you? I'm joking, I know you can't. The video stream isn't that great. Oh, look, there's a fan header. Right there, fan. Oh yeah, it's upside down for y'all, but for me it's right side up, fan. That is about the truth.
Yes.
Or how to open and lock the doors.
Although the youngest child might have managed to lock me out of the car while I was putting fuel in it one day. And I don't remember if that's the same day the gentleman wanted to make sure that I knew I was putting diesel in a vehicle because he wasn't certain. He was like, but man, you do realize that's diesel. Yes, I do. It's a TDI. But I'm pretty sure that was the same day that she locked me out with her feet on the door lock. And that was a fun 20 minutes that morning.
Yep, that's while I was in Alaska, and they were in the South, and like, well, nothing I can do now.
Pretty much. Thankfully, we were not far from home, and even though she was in her car seat, she was able to figure out. I was like, hit it again with your little toe, and she did eventually.
So, I don't know what to make of this, really. Let's back out a little bit more. Come on. There we go. All right, yeah, so the thermal paste, I don't think I'm going to replace yet. If I come back in here, it doesn't look that hard to get to. And it's still malleable, very much so. But the fact that there's a fan header, that is interesting. I wonder if I could find a cooling... Anyways, this thing's a disappointment to begin with anyway, so... All right, so let's see if I can Now that I've reverse engineered it, see if I can engineer it back together um, without breaking the Wi-Fi antennas or anything else for that matter. Haha. I think. But yeah, so this little machine I've actually run most of the performance benchmarks on, but because there was a virus detected on their own install, I haven't hooked up my drive. I actually went and downloaded the tools on a isolated VLAN here and ran the performance test that way. Yeah, they're not that hard. The only one I've actually broke it on is the U59, the B-Link U59 Pro. And the reason that I haven't bothered to fix it is, well, I was going to use it as a PF Sense machine. And there we go, it's back connected. All right. So now we got 4 silver screws to go here. All right, and as we put things back together, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has come by to see me ramble on as I take apart a computer. It is actually more fun with all of you here. Yeah, so PF Sense, I started running it in Alaska the last couple of months I was there. And I've actually used, I'm on machine number 3, I think, because the first machine I used, it stopped working for some reason. Like, the machine still works, but with PF Sense, it didn't like the chipset that was in it. So then I went to a firewall that was using Intel chips, and that died after 2 weeks. But I had bought it from AliExpress, so therefore there was no recourse. And now it's just a paperweight. So I'm using the B-Link U59 Pro here, but I want to eventually update it with some more firewalls that I bought. OpenSense, yes. How do you say that? DetPi? Is that something that will run on a Raspberry Pi? OpenSense I looked at. I also looked at the firewall, the Linux firewall. I can't even remember the name of that one now. And PF Sense, I had already been watching videos on how to configure it, and it just felt right to me. So I've used PF Sense now, and it really hasn't had many hiccups at all. It's been the hardware, I think. DeetPi? 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 I don't know. May have to look into that. And is that something to be run on, or the idea was running on single board mini PCs or Raspberry Pis or whatnot? I still have a couple of Raspberry Pis in service. One of them I need to rebuild the OS because I think the SD card became corrupted. So just to throw another one of those in there to get it back up and running. So far, the inside of this machine really hasn't been that bad to take apart and put together. It is more about the performance and the lack of Windows activation. So maybe other people won't run into that problem. Maybe I got a one-off that they just didn't finish. What? Okay, there we go. Diet Pie. I can read that one now.
Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi. Blueberry Pi.
I would love some blueberry pie, actually.
That does sound really good.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to remember to look into that. Oh, dude, don't worry about it, because I have the same problem, and my phone autocorrects, and I think on Wednesdays we just kind of go with it, or that's what I wanted to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So now if my wife gets a text, what does it say? Toyo Loco. It means I love you, because that's what the autocorrect came up with.
And it did that a couple years ago, so now half of the time it is Toyo Loco. It's also how I got the nickname Dr. Meatball.
Yeah, autocorrects. Wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, failure. Gosh. Oops, where'd it go?
And
there it
this
is.
is why magnetic screwdrivers are very helpful.
They are, you're right. But you know, I bet you I could build a PC and not drop as many screws as Dawood or Linus, so. All right, the standoffs are in place. Now we put our sticky paper back in with extra stuff. Looks like VGA. Nope, that's not right. Is that right? Nope, that's not right. Ooh, this is right. There we go. Got it now. Linus is very clumsy, and I don't know if he does it on purpose or not. At this point, I think it is just pure clumsiness. Either that or he runs on like no sleep or something. All right. Oop, there we go. It's in there. All right. Now it shipped with a NGFF drive, so M.2 SATA. I wonder if it'll take an NVMe drive. That'll be something interesting to see. And thankfully, with this one, we don't have to go down that far to actually change it out. It's a 2 screws and you're done. That's actually pretty awesome. All right, so now for this little thing here. This looks promising. Yeah, that is. I don't have a drive down here right now, but we could slip a SATA drive in there somehow.
Speaking of autocorrect, I just had one of my own.
Yeah.
Brow became brother.
That's a good question. It's also not far down there. That when I do the rest of the review video, I should actually try that out. I do have a. Ooh, we took the paper off with it too. I didn't realize that. So, but yeah, I could look into that. I've got a 2230 drive NVMe. I don't have SATA though, so. But yeah, I mean that's definitely worth checking out. Okay, so now put this back around. And I guess all the screws are the same. Nope, they are not. I put the wrong one in. And this screwdriver is not magnetic. Screwdriver tip is not magnetic, I should say. Who needs iFixit stuff when you've got a Harbor Freight down the road and you get stuff like this? So yeah, this has actually been not a terrible experience here, getting it apart. Computer itself may be something different, but the big question is, what am I going to use it for? If it's silent, I think it actually could be a pretty good pie hole replacement. I mean, it's a little overkill for just pie hole, but you could run a couple of different things on it that weren't always resource intensive, and you don't have to hear a thing. It's pretty cool in my book. Yep, I have quite a few little neodyme magnets at work. I've got a few here at home running around from hard drives I've taken apart. I guess I probably just never have used a Philips one very much. I think my Philips, or I haven't used this kit very much. That could be the problem. Yeah, I don't think I've used this kit very much. My kit at work that we have, I've ran those across the magnets a few times, and that's helped me out. Also found out that the Chromebooks, they figure out if the lid is shut or open by a little magnetic switch on the inside. So on the screen side, there is a little neodyme magnet. And that's how I've gotten a few of them, by actually decommissioning them. So yeah, I just got the feet. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, thorough
Sound
foot.
like you're starting a Dr. Seuss book.
Well, no one can out Seuss the Seuss. That's my take on it, anyways. All right. Well, now that we got it back together, does anyone want to know anything about it before I actually write the review? I do want to see what is on this little drive that they sent. Is this the reason it's not activated? Do I have to put this in to activate it? I don't know. How hot does it get? That is a good question. And why do I feel like I am off camera so much? There we go. I've only done one temperature test on it so far, running Cinebench R23 for about 15 minutes. And I think it got up to about 68 degrees. So nothing super. The current draw on it when you start out on a run like that is around 24 watts, and then it drops down to about 15. So the profile in here is not to allow it to get very hot, I think.
Still doesn't get as hot as the laptop.
That's very true. This laptop right now, the fan is going pretty good. The one that we're running the stream off of. Thanks. It could be a couple weeks down the road. I've got a few more to do and some other things that I need to review. But overall, this hasn't been
terrible.
It hasn't. Yeah, I mean, this machine really does have some promise. It's just very disappointing on the Windows side. And for me, that's not a huge deal because I wouldn't generally use this with Windows. I'd use it with something else. But for everyone else, if they get one and it's like this, that's why this is my 1-star review computer. Well, that's pretty cool. I may have to try them out. And that would have alleviated my producer having to go off and get the kids needle nose pliers.
That's okay.
Yeah, they work fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is, but I think it's actually configured for 10 watt TDP. So I think they have really downplayed it. But I think this one has a pretty open BIOS too. So I may have to dig further into it. Well, that'd be pretty cool. We have a Harbor Freight in town, yeah, but we got a Tractor Supply not far down the road either. I haven't been in there looking for tools. Generally, I go in looking for nuts and bolts because they're one of the best places to go to get bulk, nuts and bolts for a project.
They also have a great birdseed selection.
Yes, that they do. But yeah, it's interesting because it actually has an SD marked card slot, not TF, like a lot of them. It's got HDMI and DisplayPort and VGA for some reason. I mean, I know there's still lots of monitors out there that you can run VGA off of, and I think there's still some sold today, some cheaper ones that still might have a VGA input. But if anyone's like me, I only recently upgraded my primary monitor. The other monitor I ran for 10, 11 years before I got rid of it, and it still worked great. I just wanted more real estate. So, but we have successfully taken a computer apart and gotten it back together. Will it boot? I don't know. It probably will. Will the thermals be the same? Maybe. But you'll hear about it right here on Not Terrible by Goodmonkey. And yes, it does have a clicky power switch. Oh, any last questions before we go? Job Smart 57 piece precision. Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have something set up in OBS to bring it up, but that'd be pretty cool if I could. Yep, I don't have any proper scene set up. So that gives me something else to do. Hey man, no problem. I like taking them apart and showing them. My review videos, I probably have done a little, I'm cutting them back a little bit on the amount of content in them just for timing. My reviews were getting a little over 10 minutes, and I know some people, at least on my side, I can appreciate a shorter review with more information other than dragging it out for 25, 30 minutes. So I really try to make the review short. So I don't really go into the full teardown anymore. I just kind of show the guts once I'm down into them. So I thought streaming the disassembly would actually be a pretty interesting idea. Thank you so much. Hey, no, it's fine. Part numbers, it's all good. I'm sure I can walk in there and say, "Hey, man, what you got?" and they'll hook me up. So thank you for sharing it, though. I really do appreciate it. So I think that about wraps things up. This has been the disassembly and reassembly of the brand name I forgot, AC8 Mini PC with the Pentium N6005. Goodmonkey has been your producer, your voice, your technician. Executive producer is Dr. Meatball.
And we still laugh about that. And it's been, what, 8 years since I got that nickname?
Yeah.
It's a story for another night.
Yeah, well, that's honestly, that is one of the reasons why I still do reviews on machines. If, say, I bought them 3 or 4 months ago, it may not be for people who are buying them right now, but it could be for people who find them on eBay and want to know more about them, because the eBay listing may say mini computer and have some pictures, but what is that computer like, and how does it compare to some other random thing they found? So that is one of the reasons I like doing them. So thank you. But yep, and with that, tomorrow is a work day. I'm hoping that I feel a little bit better tomorrow. If you haven't already, vote and let me know what do you think on my community page would be the best day to do a live stream. We did the Wednesday one, and that one seemed to run pretty good. Here it is Sunday night. I don't plan on doing multiple streams a week, but this has worked out pretty good. I like it. Yep, that is exactly true. Or wrong listing. That's why I did the HP 400, 600, and 800 SFF comparison videos. That way people would know. But I've learned through my eBay adventures. But anyways, thank you again, everybody. Like, if you haven't already, I really appreciate it. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please take a moment to do so. And I will see everyone in the next video. Thank you again so much.